I begin, as always, in the matchless name of Jesus. This video is going to be doing a review of Arrow Season 3, Episode 4, The Magician. So we pick up where we left off from the previous episode with Sara, with Nyssa Al-Ghul in the Arrow Cave with an arrow pointed at Oliver, and he breaks the news that Sara is gone. And before that, and after that, Oliver goes over to Thea and just checks up on her, and then a little bit later they go to the clock tower, and then Nyssa breaks the news that Malcolm Merlyn is alive to Oliver. So I'm so glad that was broken to them, because I was hoping that it was only a matter of time before that news became new to Oliver. So we go to the opening title and we open back, and then we go to them, and then we have them. Then next thing we know, we have Oliver, Diggle, Nyssa, and Roy going over to a temple, and they find that Malcolm's there. There's a brief little fight between Malcolm and Nyssa, and then Malcolm goes. And then Oliver tracks them. And by the way, Laurel finds out that Nyssa's involved, and she acts very much angry, like a very obnoxious towards her. So I don't know what that was about. And I have to agree with Nyssa when she said that you were not fit to wear the jacket that Sara was wearing. I agree with that. I agree with that greatly. So, anyways, Laurel is not very happy to see Nyssa in town because she thinks that she was involved with Sara's death. So they go out. Oliver soon afterwards, while he's looking for Malcolm, runs into him, meets him, and they are not in costume, either of them. And he finds out that Malcolm was not involved in Malcolm was not involved in the death of Sara Lance, because Malcolm swore on his daughter's life. That is Thea Queen. And speaking of Thea, I just not happy with the fact that she's lying to Oliver when she's doing the very thing that she did not like Oliver, when Oliver was doing. So, and then after that they go off to, and then after that it's only a matter of time, and then Nyssa kidnaps Thea and then tries to interrogate her, and then Oliver, as the arrow, saves her, and then only a matter of time there's a bit of a fight between those two, and then Malcolm joins the phrase. There was a fight between both the three of them, and it ends with Malcolm at Oliver's mercy. And I was very happy to see Oliver kick Malcolm's butt this time, because if you remember in season 1, Oliver was getting his butt kicked numerous times to Malcolm, and the third time, which was in season 1 episode, the season 1 finale, he beat him just barely. So probably it's a sign that he's improved since then. So he considers killing him, but decides to let him live. So in the end of the day, Oliver decides that he was not, as long as Malcolm was in Starling City, that Nyssa would not go after him. So therefore, Nyssa returns back to Nanda Parbat, and then we see Raz Al-Ghul finally. And then it seems like Raz Al-Ghul is not really concerned about Sara. He just wants to go after Oliver. So, wow. In the meantime, in the flashbacks, we learn in Hong Kong, Oliver has to kill this guy, and then later we learn that it was Amanda Waller who had Edward Fyers, the main bad guy of the season 1 flashbacks, to shoot down that plane towards China to cripple its economy. She was really wanting to gun down that aircraft to go after to stop Chien Na-Wei, aka China White, a bad guy a woman who antagonized Oliver in season one and in the second episode of season two. So that was a very good that's tied up some loose ends. So I'm just starting. That kind of made me think shift some gears. Maybe the main bad guy of season three flashbacks isn't Amanda Waller. It could be, but it may not. Maybe it's more like China White. I think that would be much more better. But anyways, this was an amazing episode. Very amazing. I love the action scenes between Oliver and Nyssa and Malcolm. Those were awesome. And I really love the dialogue. It seemed like a thickening of the plot, even though it was very low on it. And it was low on action, but even when there was no action, there was a lot of suspense and things like that. And it was amazing. And when there were action scenes, it was amazing. So I think I'll have to give this thing a 9.4 out of 10. Excellent episode. I am so excited for the next episode coming up and the rest of this season.